Okay, so there's this massive gold rush happening in AI right now. It feels historic.
It really does.
But there's a real tension here. We have the Alphabet CEO, Sundar Pichai, calling it an extraordinary moment. But then he immediately warns that it contains elements of irrationality.
Which is, I mean, pretty strong language coming from him.
Exactly. So for today's deep dive, we're getting into his exclusive interview to really unpack that. The risks, the real costs, and what it means when the CEO of a $3.5 trillion company starts using, well, bubble language.
And that word irrationality, it really stems from the sheer scale of the speculation we're all seeing.
You're talking about the valuations?
The valuations are just eye-watering. Alphabet's shares have doubled in just 7 months. NVIDIA, I mean, we're talking about a $5 trillion valuation.
Wow. But Pichai's main concern, it's the math behind the actual deals, right?
That's exactly. I mean, you look at a company like OpenAI, there's something like, what, $1.4 trillion in planned investments swirling around it.
Right, I saw that figure. It's huge.
And their expected revenue is less than 1,000th of that planned investment.
So how do you even square that circle? What are people actually buying?
They're buying the idea, the profundity, as Pichai puts it. They're betting that AI is going to be just as disruptive as the internet was.
It all sounds very familiar, a bit like the 90s.
It absolutely does. It has these echoes of Alan Greenspan's famous irrational exuberance warning back in 1996. And look, if this bubble bursts, the impact is real. Pension funds, job losses, no major company is immune.
So if the risk is that big, how does a company like Google try to, hedge against it? Because he's obviously not pulling back on spending.
No, not at all. His answer seems to be all about structure. He calls it the full stack model.
Full stack. So
Oh,
that's about controlling everything from the ground up.
Pretty much. Total vertical control. They build their own chips, they own these enormous data sets, and then they create the models on top of all that.
The entire supply chain, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. And Pichai's argument is that this gives them a crucial cost advantage and the resilience to ride out any turbulence in the market.
Okay, so the financial side is one thing, but Pichai warns about a risk that's actually physical, right? The massive demand on our energy grid.
Yes, and this is where the hype really hits the planet. He was very frank about the immense need for energy.
The numbers are just staggering.
They are. Last year alone, AI accounted for 1.5% of the entire world's electricity consumption.
1.5%, and we're just getting started.
Right. And for Google, this has already caused what they call slippage on their own climate targets, that net zero by 2030 goal.
So the sprint in technology is actively undermining their climate promises. That's a huge trade-off.
It's an enormous trade-off, and yet the pressure to push ahead is immense. They're still pouring billions into infrastructure, like that $5 billion commitment in the UK.
To solidify the UK as a top AI player, yeah. So the energy cost is just the price of admission.
It seems to be. And that connects this all to the bigger picture for you listening. Pichai calls AI the most profound technology that humankind has ever worked on.
And this is where it really gets personal. For your career, for your day-to-day, he says there will be inevitable societal disruptions.
And that some jobs will evolve and transition. But, the crucial message isn't about fear. It's really about adaptation.
It's not if you use these tools, but how well you use them.
That is the definitive takeaway, I think. It doesn't matter your profession. A teacher, a doctor, a creative, the people who will do better
are the ones who learn how to leverage the tools.
Exactly. It's fast becoming the single most important layer of job security.
So to bring this all together, Pichai made one more critical point. He said we need major global action to scale up our energy infrastructure.
Because we can't, in his words, constrain an economy based on energy.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative thought.
It certainly does.
I mean, if AI is already using 1.5% of global electricity just to get going, how close are we to a future where the sheer, relentless energy demands of AI fundamentally limit a nation's economic or even its technological growth?
A future where progress is literally capped by power plants.
Exactly. Something to think about until our next deep dive.